Welcome to the second part of lesson 2, and we are still discussing the connections and communicating online. Okay, our internet relies on addressing systems. It is much like as the postal service that sends data to a computer or device at a specific destination. Okay, the internet uses two IP addressing scheme. We have the IP version 4 and the IP version 6. Due to the growth of the internet, the original IP version 4 addresses began dwelling in availability, and the IP v6 increased the number of IP addresses exponentially. And because lengthy IP addresses can be difficult to remember, the internet supports the use of domain names. And the domain name is a text-based name that corresponds to the IP addresses or IP address of a server that hosts a website. And the suffix of a domain name called the top level domain. This is identifies the type of organizations associated with the domain. And listed in this table are the list of the original TDLs. And we have here your .com, .edu, .gov, .mil, .net, and your .org. Okay, and for your .com, the intended purpose or purposes for this or of this are for commercial organization, business, and companies. Your edu, of course, for educational institution, and for your .gov, we have here for government agencies, and for your .mil, we have for military organization, and your .net, network providers or commercial companies, and the others for non-profit organization also. And there are also new TDLs that are being introduced to give individuals and businesses the flexibility to create when or a creativity when purchasing a domain name or names. Okay, for example, we have here your .museum, .technology, .name, and .biz. Okay, these are or these were introduced as the TDLs within the recent years. Okay, the organization that approves the control of TDLs is also called ICANN. Okay, it pronounced ICANN, which stands for Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Okay, for the website that are outside the United States, the suffix of the domain name may include a country code. Okay, it's like country code TDL or CCTDL, which is a two-letter country code such as AU for Australia, PH for Philippines. Okay, for example, www.philips.com.au is a domain name for Philips Australia. Okay, for the domain name system or the DNS is a method that the internet uses to store domain names and their corresponding IP addresses. Okay, when you enter or keyed in a domain name, example google.com in your browser, a DNS server translate the domain name to its associated IP address so that the request can be routed to a correct computer, wherein the DNS server is a server on the internet that are usually associated with the ISP. Okay? And the World Wide Web emerged in the early 1990s as an easier way to access online information using a browser. And since then, it was grown phenomenally to become one of the widely used services on the internet. Okay, and as discussed previously, the World Wide Web, or WWW, or web, consists of a worldwide collection of electronic documents, where each electronic document on the web is called a web page, which can contain text, graphics, animation, audio, and video. And some web pages are static or fixed, and the others are dynamic or changing, or it changes from time to time. Okay, an example of this is like visitors to a static web page all see the content at the same time. And while the dynamic web page, by contrast, the content of the web page generates each time a user displays it. And when you say dynamic page or web pages may contain customized content such as the current date and time of the day, the desired stack codes, the weather for a region, or a ticket availability for a flight. And of course, the time required to download the web page varies depending on the speed of your internet connection and the amount of graphics and other media that is involved in the web page. And furthermore, a website is a collection of related web pages and associated items such as documents, photos stored on the web server. And say web server, this is a computer that delivers requested web page on your computer or your mobile device. And as web technologies matured in the mid 2000, the industry experts introduced the term Web 2.0, which refers to as the website that provides a mean for users to share personal information, such as the one we see in your online social network. And this Web 2.0 also allows user to modify websites or the website content, such as your wiki. And it provides applications or provide applications through a browser, such as web application. Okay, and as far as navigating the web is concerned, we can recall that a browser is an application that enables user with an internet connection, of course, to access and view the web pages. And an internet capable mobile devices such as your smartphone, of course, it uses a special type of browser. We call this mobile browser, which is also designed for their small screen and limited computing power. And many websites can detect if you are accessing their content on a mobile device. And when you run a browser, it may retrieve and display starting a web page, sometimes called a home page. And this is where it initially, we would say homepage that is displayed is specified in a browser. You can change also your browser homepage and anytime through the settings and of course the options with similar commands. And for web addresses, we recall that a web page has a unique address called web address or URL. And URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. And a web address consists of a protocol, domain name, and sometimes the host name or path to a specific web page or a file name of the web page. Okay, the HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is a set of rules that defines how a web page or web pages transfer on the internet. The web pages or web addresses begins with http colon slash slash or http colon double slash as the protocol. The text between the protocol and the domain name is called the host name, which identifies the type of internet server or the name of the web server. And here, the www, for example, indicates a web server. Okay? For example, the web address of the U.S. Department of the Interior National Park Service homepage, which is http colon slash slash www.nps.gov. Okay? A browser retrieves a web page using its web address. If you know the web address of a web page, you can type it in the address bar of your browser. And if you type the address, it's like www or http colon slash slash www.nps.gov slash history slash places.htm in the address bar. And then just press or click the search or go or a similar button. The browser downloads and display the associated web page as shown in the illustration. Okay, the path history slash places.htm in this web address identifies a web page that is specified in a file name places.htm, which is in a folder named history on the server that hosts the nps.gov websites. Okay, when you enter this web address after obtaining the IP address for the nps.gov, the domain name, the browser sends a request to the web server to retrieve the web page named place.htm, and it delivers it to the browser to be displayed. Okay? As discussed previously, a web app or web application is an application stored on a web server that you access through a browser. And it is where users typically interact with the web applications directly on the website, or sometimes referred to as the host. And many web application or web app hosts provide free access to their software. Others offer a part of their web applications for free and charge for some access to a more comprehensive program. Though many includes, I should say, advertisement in the free version and charge for an advertisement free version. Some allow also to use the web applications for free and pay when a certain actions occur. And usually, a web application or web app and mobile applications often work together. As shown in the illustration, you might want to access a cloud storage website from your laptop or your desktop. Okay, so when we say a cloud storage website, this is a we would say that hosts the web applications. Of course, to upload, to download, browse, organize, and or view your files or the files. And we would say cloud storage. It's where the website or the provider of this mobile app that you install on your smartphone can be accessed. The same informations are performed the same task from a mobile device. A search engine typically allows you to search for one or more of the following items. For images like your photos, diagram, and drawings, we also have videos like your home video, music video, television program, and of course movie clips. Okay. We also have your maps of a business or an address, or while driving for a direction to a destination. We also have your audio, like of course your music, recordings, and songs and sounds, and the like. Also, we also have publication, like news articles, journals, and books. We also have people or businesses, like address and phone numbers. We also have blogs or video blogs, like specific opinions and ideas of the others. You can also use a search engine to solve a mathematical equation. You can also use this to define words and many more. Okay? And some search engines, such as Bing, Google, and Yahoo, are helpful in locating information on the web for which you do not know how and the exact web address or are not seeking a specific website. Okay, and of course those that work with GPS devices or services in terms of how these services are located or location or the locations of these services. We call this the GPS device or services are location based, meaning they display results related to the device or device's current geographical position. And of course, search engine requires you to enter or key in a word or phrase. We call this search text. Okay, to describe the item you want to find or you're looking into. Okay, search text can be broad, such as we'll say spring break destination, or making it more specific, such as Walt Disney, something to that effect. If you misspell the search text, search engines are typically correct or the misspelling or identify alternative search text. Also, provide a suggested search text or links or image as you type your search text. Okay? And this table illustrates or shows the list of some operators you can use to search text or refine searches instead of working with operators to refine search text. Many search engine provides already an advanced search features or search tools that assist in or with limiting search results based on items such as dates, the TDL or language, and many more. Okay? And of course, as far as the web content is concerned, there are several types of websites. Like, of course, the search engines that we mentioned earlier, online social networks, informational and research, media sharing, marketing, news, weather, sports, and other mass media. And we also have educational, business, governmental, and organizational. Of course, your blogs, your wikis, and collaboration. We also have health and fitness. We also have science. We also have entertainment, banking and finance, travel and tourism, mapping, retail, and auction. Okay? We also have career and employment. We also have e-commerce. We have, of course, portals and content aggregation as well as website creation and management. Okay? So, many websites fall into more than one or many types. And all of these websites can be accessed from your computer or your mobile devices, and it is often are formatted differently. Okay, for small businesses or business or home user, web publishing is of course fairly easy as long as you have the proper tools. And listed here are the outlines of we say five main steps in web publishing. And of course, to start with, you need to have your plan, you need to have your design, you need to have your, of course, you need to create, and then you need to, we would say, host, and we need also to maintain. When we say make a plan of your website, you need, of course, to identify the purpose of your website and the characteristic or the people who are going to visit your website. You also need to determine the ways or determine ways to differentiate your website from the other similar or the old website that is already in the market. You also need to decide how your visitors will navigate the website or your website. You also need to consider or to register the desired domain name of your website, and that is part of the plan. Okay? And for the second stage, it is to design the website. You also need to consider the appearance and the layout of the elements or layout of all your elements in your website. You need also to decide what color and what format you're going to use. And also determine the content for the link, the text, the graphics, the animations, the audio, the video, of course the VR, and of course your blogs. You also need to make or consider specific hardware such as your digital camera, your webcam, your video camera, your scanner, and your audio recorder. And you may also need software that enables you to create images or to edit photos, audio, and video. These are all part of this stage when we say design the website. Okay? And the third stage is the time when you create the website. Okay? To create a website, you have to consider several options. Okay? One of which is whether to use the feature of a word processing program that enables you to create the basic web pages from documents containing text and graphics. And of course, second, um, consider the use of a content management system, which is a tool that assists users in creating, editing, and of course, hosting the content of your website. And the third one is consider also what we call using a website authoring software or create more sophisticated websites that includes text, graphics, animation, audio, video, special effects, and other links. And of course, the fourth one that you need to consider also is, of course, use a more advanced or say advanced users creating a sophisticated website by using a special type of software, okay, or call a text editor to enter the code that instruct the browser how to display the text, images, and the links on your website. And of course, on this stage, the last one on this stage is of course for more advanced features such as managing the user, using password, or it has a chat mechanism or email mechanism. You may need to purchase a specialized website management software. These are all included when you want to create a website. And of course, the fourth stage is on how are you going to host the website. There are also options for transferring a web pages from your computer to a web server. And of course, this includes the following. You may consider a web hosting service providers or web hosting service that provides storage or space on the web, of course, with a reasonable fee on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or on a yearly basis. Okay, because there are also ISPs that offers web hosting services to their customers. Sometimes there is a free stage and so on, and as you go on, there will be they're going to ask for fees already. Okay, so there is this also called online content management system, and of course, they usually includes hosting services for free or with a fee. It depends on the features and the amount of storage that you avail. Okay? And the last stage on this is what we call maintaining the website. Okay? So basically, you visit the website regularly, of course, to ensure that its content are current or all the links are properly working. You also need to create survey on the website, of course, to test your users whether they are satisfied or not. And of course, in order for you to solicit also feedback. And of course, one way to maintain the website is you can also run analytics to track the visitors to the website that you have created. And of course, to measure the statistics about its utilization. Okay?